Alright, what's going on, everybody? So I just got finished watching the series finale for Akudama Drive. And I gotta say, man, I haven't given myself a lot of time to process this. And everything I'm gonna say is off the cuff, but I gotta say this, man. This show was dang near perfect. I know there's no such thing as a perfect show, as a perfect book, as a perfect video game. There's no such thing as a perfect story. But this show is dang near close. It is, and as much as I hate to kind of hear people, kind of see people throw around that term masterpiece, and it kind of feels like people use that term too loosely to describe certain works of media, video games, anime, whatever. I gotta say the Akudama Drive kind of fits the bill. It belongs. It deserves to be held in the highest of regards. Like, it is in the upper echelon of action anime. It is one of the best shows of this year, in my opinion. And I was going to do a video. Actually, I was going to do a video talking about the best new shows of this year. And unfortunately, it's holiday time. It's the holidays, and I just might not be able to get that video out. But Akudama Drive was going to be on that. It was going to be featured in that video. And I wanted to take some time today to talk about my love for Akudama Drive and just talk about my reaction. Just kind of give you guys my reaction to this, to the finale. And I gotta say, man, I was trying to contain myself throughout this episode. I was trying to. I couldn't. My brother heard me yelling. He was like taking a shower, and then he went in his room, and he heard me yelling. He came in. He's like, "What show is this?" He's like, "I heard yelling. What show is this?" So this finale was perfect. Like, this is how you end off your show, especially if you're an action show. Like, I love the way that this thing ended. Right. So there's a lot that I loved about this episode. So first of all, let me just say this: they thought that they were slick. I don't know if they thought that they were slick with that Jesus Christ, cross imagery in the episode. But yeah, I caught that. The blood on the cross and everything. I caught that. I love the way that this thing ended, though. Just like overall, with like this uprising, the people of Kanzai just rising up, and really those people seeing the executioners, and like this line the line being blurred between who is right and who is wrong, who's the criminal, who's the bad guy, who's the Akudama, right? I really enjoyed the story of this show, man. And to be honest, bro, this, like when I'm calling this show perfect, I'm calling it a masterpiece. And I'm saying that for a reason. Because even going back, like, if we want to talk about this show in terms of animation, in terms of, the visuals, this show is just a visual treat. Like, the animation, first of all, man, we gotta give, Studio Period, or Period, however you say it. But we gotta give them respect. We definitely do. I know that they had their moments with, like, Black Clover. I believe they are the guys that do Black Clover. Naruto Shippuden. There were the moments where, in the animation, where it kind of looked a little weird. But these are the same guys. These are the same guys that gave us amazing fights in Naruto, and I think that Akudama Drive, in terms of animation, and what they did with a lot of these fight scenes and the action scenes, just overall, not just in this episode, but just overall in this series, it's great. Like, I'm at a loss for words here, man. I really am, because I just started rewatching the show. In English. I'm up to like episode 5 in English, or episode 6, or wherever they stop. But I was rewatching the episodes, and then it hit me, because I totally forgot. These are the same guys that gave us the Naruto versus Sasuke fights. The fight choreography in this show is amazing. It's slick. The animation is slick. It's fluid. You can actually tell what's going on. They're not afraid to move the camera around, and even in this episode, we get a first person view, like a first person view sort of shot. When the courier is doing his thing, right? And let me tell, boy, bro, the courier, man, the freaking courier. All I'm gonna say is I'm trying not to spoil. I'm gonna try not to spoil too much, man. But all I'm gonna say is the courier, man. The courier is a beast. He's a freaking beast. He went out like a G, man. Bro. This was just this was a really enjoyable episode, man. Bro, I couldn't help but just laugh. Well, not laugh, but like just yell, cause I was so excited watching this. I was like, bro, this show is just amazing, man. The story overall, like when you really go back, I challenge any of y'all, bro, just go back. If you thought the story was just okay, go back and rewatch it. Go back and rewatch it. It's amazing, man. It is amazing. And I love the way that this thing ended, because it didn't end in a way where like they left it open ended. It felt like the story was over. It felt like the story was over. A nice book ending, a very quiet, a very quiet and good ending for the brother and sister. It kind of ended the way that I thought it would, in terms of what was going to happen to the Akudama. I'm not going to spoil it, but it kind of ended the way that I thought it would. And the fact that the inspiration for the show, or I should say some of the inspiration for the show, was like Hollywood movies and stuff. And when you go back and you rewatch those episodes, you're like, oh, okay, I can point out exactly where they were kind of inspired by this movie or by that movie. Like there were episodes, the episode titles themselves, if you haven't noticed, which I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have, the episode titles themselves, with the exception of like I think two of them, they're titles of movies. Like we had the Shining episode, and there was a moment in there which was very reminiscent of The Shining. It really does. It really does capture the feeling of those Hollywood movies and those directors that they were inspired by. And not only that, like I've already talked about the animation. I've talked about the action just being phenomenal, and the stuff that happened in this week's episode, man. It's like they really went crazy with it. But even rewatching this in English, they just did a phenomenal job with the English dub. These characters literally sound the way that you would think that they would sound. They completely nailed the casting, both with the English dub, with the Japanese dub, or with the Japanese version, right? But even with the character designs, this show having the somebody that worked on Danganronpa, I'm blanking on the names and stuff, but someone that worked on Danganronpa, just like the art style and the character designs being the way that they are, like they were like really, really good. And then with the transitions, like even with this week's episode, with all the action in this week's episode, they even did the whole that transition that they love to do, where like they kind of layer in the next part of the scene. They kind of so like when they go into another scene, they basically how do I put it? They kind of put things in there like piece by piece. They go into the next scene piece by piece. They did the whole transition. They did that in the middle of an action scene. They did that in the middle of all of this. Like this show, and I don't want to regurgitate a lot of what I said in my previous reviews, but it really needs to be said that in terms of how that they in terms of how they went about delivering the exposition in the form of these educational programs. They did that throughout the show, and they did it so seamlessly. Like even throughout this episode, they utilized that educational program, and you're like, bro, this show is just perfect. It's just perfect. It ended perfectly. It ended the way that I thought it did. Some of y'all might think that it was very predictable in that way. I don't really I wouldn't fault it for that because I kind of got the feeling that it was gonna end the way that it did, right? I think some of y'all probably thought the same thing, but yeah, man, this finale was perfect, man. this finale was perfect. This show is perfect. Akudama Drive is the best show of 2020, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot coming from me because at the start of this year, I was thinking, My Hero Academia, My Hero Academia. What's the other show? Tower of God. Other shows that I like that if I end up doing that video, I don't want to say all of them, but yeah, this definitely rose up. This definitely rose up to like my number one spot after rewatching a lot of it. This was a fantastic season, a fantastic series, and a really good finale. That's pretty much all I can say, man. Like I said, I'm going off the cuff, and this might just seem like this whole video might just seem kind of like just a dude kind of, sitting up here, kind of scatterbrained, and I apologize, but I felt like I needed to talk about it because the show, like this episode, when I say that this show is such an adrenaline rush, especially after rewatching it in English, because I don't have to read. I don't have to sit up here and try to read. I can just focus on the action and the characters themselves and the banter and all the stuff that's going on. Like this show deserves to be seen in English. It deserves to be seen in your native language so you can really take everything in. If you're one of those people that can read and kind of, also take in the action at the same time, then it won't be a big problem for you. But I'm somebody, I read slowly, so I don't really like watching a lot of stuff in Japanese. But it feels perfect and like it feels perfect in any language, but I would rather watch it in my own language, but that's not, I guess that's, a preference thing, but yeah, this is a perfect season, perfect show, and I hope that they don't do, I can't see them doing the sequel to this. I can't, because like I said, it felt like it ended, like the story was over. We didn't need anything else. And I really hope that they don't do a sequel. I don't need it. As good as it is, I hope that they don't do a sequel. We don't need a sequel. It ended perfectly. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you guys for sticking through this video. Let me know what you guys thought about the finale of Akudama Drive and the series overall. Thank you guys for watching. Happy holidays. Stay safe. Wash your hands and continue to enjoy some anime. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.